Hello everyone, Sheila back again. Welcome to my channel. It's another bit of a miserable day today. It's supposed to be quite warm today. I'll put my knitting down a minute and have a look on my phone. But it's not very warm in my house actually. Supposed to be 20 degrees at the moment outside. I'll have to go outside and see what it's like out there because it's not 20 degrees in my house. I mean, I haven't got long sleeves on this, but I think I could do with a cardigan on actually. But anyway, that's just the weather. The weather was miserable last night. I had a couple of patterns to post and I went out about just after 10 to walk up to the post box on my estate to post them. One was for Janet and one was for Jean. And I opened the door and there was a bit of drizzle, very light drizzle. I thought, oh, it's just a little bit drizzle. I thought, I left my umbrella in the car and I thought I'm not going to unlock the garage and that and get into the car to get my umbrella. It's just a few minutes up the street. Well, that's what I thought. So I got halfway up to the post box and that drizzle got heavier. So I had to put I just had a fleece, a fleece jacket on. I had to put the patterns up inside my coat to stop them getting, the envelopes getting wet and putting them into the post box. And when I got back home, my hair was soaking. I didn't have anything on my head. And my hair goes like a frizzy mat when it's wet. So my hair was soaking, my coat was soaking. So that little bit fine drizzle turned into heavy drizzle by the time I got home, because it takes me probably about 8 minutes altogether. It's probably about 4 minutes up there and 4 minutes back down again. And I thought, I'm not washing my hair. I've only just washed it on Thursday. I only wash it twice a week. I'll probably be washing it again tomorrow. So it's a little bit of a mess today and I've just tied it back as best I can because it was just like I'm saying, like it goes, my hair is naturally wavy. But it goes like a frizzy mat if it gets wet when I'm in the rain or anything like that. Now I'm having a bit of my cup of tea as well while I'm talking. But I'm doing Helen's cardigan. I've got a little bit of this one done, the back and one of the fronts there, and that's the second front I'm on to. I'll probably get that one finished today sometime. I've still got that bit of cough from that cold, but I'll put that down anyway because I have been I had a message from one of my subscribers. This lady's name's Jane. She was wanted to do a cardigan. She showed me the pattern. I'll show you the pattern. She sent me photographs and I've printed it, and this is the pattern she wanted help with. It's a lovely little cardigan, and it's sort of all in one. I can show you one of the pictures. I've got the instructions on the other side. She sent me the instructions as well. And that's what it actually looks like when you're knitting it. You start off, here and work out the sleeves and go down to the back. And she couldn't work out the pattern. And I'm an experienced knitter. Pretty experienced at reading patterns, but this pattern, it took me ages to work it out. They don't tell you on this pattern there is a like at the top there's a sweater as well. There's a sweater, a cardigan and a bolero. But they start off with the sweater and then it comes down to the cardigan. But they don't tell you, they don't have anything written in here to tell you that when you're doing the cardigan, because normally when you're doing a cardigan you start with the back first. Normally you start with the back and then do the two fronts, but with this doing all in one, the whole lot's done all in one, you start off with the fronts first, only the pattern doesn't tell you that. And that lady was just didn't understand what you had to do on the pattern. So I read the pattern, trying to read the pattern, and I couldn't make head nor tail of it. But I've never ever knitted anything like that before. I've always knitted them in pieces, the cardigans in 5 pieces. That's the way I've always knit them. And I have seen patterns like that, but I've never really thought about knitting anything like that. But this lady Jane was having a lot of trouble understanding the pattern and that. So I said the only thing I think I can do really is to knit it myself. And I'll let you know what you're supposed to do with different parts of the pattern. So that's what I did. But this lady actually lives quite local to me. She's probably only a few minutes away from where I live. I could have went to her home and probably helped her if I'd had to. But I worked out the pattern, and then I worked out that for the cardigan I have to start with the right front first. So that's what I did. Only this pattern doesn't tell you a lot of things that it should tell you. Some things that an experienced knitter would know without any problem, but a new knitter, which Jane is, some things it should tell you, it doesn't. So I'm going to show you. I've been knitting. I've put my other knitting. So I'm spending a couple of hours in the morning, in the time when I would normally be doing a little bit of crochet or something like that to make something, apart from my normal knitting. So I was using that time to knit this cardigan, which I'm actually going to do it for somebody I know who's pregnant anyway, so that's what I'm going to knit it for. And the pattern on the front here has little like bows. I think these are little bows, with something embroidered. According to the pattern it says, I've printed this the wrong way around. I've got the picture and done it the wrong way around, so I've got to switch it around like that when I read the instructions on it. So it says for the cardigan there are 3 ribbon bows and 3 press studs. So these are some sort of ribbon bow things that you have to embroider onto the thing, and the cardigan is fastened with press studs. But I'm not going to do that because I'm just doing it for myself. But I'm just probably putting a couple of buttonholes in, putting a couple of buttons on. So I'm going to show you what I've been doing and what should be written on this pattern that is not written in this pattern. I started off with the if I get this wool's all tangled up here, that's it. I started off with the right front. This is the right front on it, and as you can see I've got 1 buttonhole there. I'm just going to put a buttonhole there and 1 on the band when it's done. But you start off with there's 5 rows of 5 rows of garter stitch on the bottom, and then you start it's just stocking stitch. The whole thing's just stocking stitch with the garter stitch band down the front. But what the pattern doesn't tell, which a new knitter would get a bit mixed up about, is where you actually put the garter stitch. Now on this one, with me, I would just put it up against my right side. That's where I know where the stitches go for the band. So you knit the 5 rows, the garter stitch, then your first row is knit. So you knit all the way across, so you're turning around and you do the purl row. So to get the band in the right place on the right front, you would purl up to the last 5 stitches and then knit those 5 stitches, only the pattern doesn't tell you that. The pattern just tells you to put the band, those 5 stitches for the band, but it doesn't tell you where to put them. So a new knitter would probably not even know which end to put them on, but I do, because I'm like I said, I'm an experienced knitter. I know about these sort of things. So that's something the pattern should have said. If I wrote this pattern out myself, I would have had to knit the 5 garter stitch rows, and then the next row I would pit, you'd be changing your needles to the larger needle, and the next row I would pit to knit that row, and then I would put the next row, purl to your last 5 stitches, and then knit those 5 stitches for the band. That's what I would do, but the pattern doesn't tell you that. So anyway, I carried on knitting up to the armholes. Well, this is the armhole there, and then you have to add the stitches for the arm, because it's all in one. But when I come to do the neck here, how to cast off the stitch. To me, there's far too many stitches cast off, but I'm just following the pattern because I'm helping Jean out. So the top of the band, you know, those stitches, you wouldn't be casting those off normally if you were doing a separate band, but you cast off those 5. And then they tell you to cast off, after the band, is another 10 stitches, so that's 15 stitches altogether you've cast off there, which to me is far too many. You should only have had about 5 stitches cast off. And then you come to the decrease up here. Get that bit out the way. You come to the decrease stitches up here, and you're decreasing 5, so that's another 5 stitches you're decreasing. And then you knit 5 rows, and the last 3 rows you increase on each of those rows. So you're making the neck, so the front bit comes in like that and it goes up, and it sort of comes back around again for to add to the stitches that you're going to put across the back. But to increase on 3 rows, one after the other, makes a very untidy edge. I don't like that. So what I would have done, I would have just, those 10 stitches there that cast off, I would only have casted 7 stitches off. Done the 5 decreasing that it says here, the 5 rows, but just knitted those 3 rows instead of increasing there, because you don't have to bring that part in around the back, because when you put the band on, the band brings it in anyway. So to me that's going to be quite a wide neck. That nearly fits round my neck. Yeah, that's where the band would be, and that's going nearly up to my neck there, where you're going to add the rest of the stitches. But I don't know whether it's like that for any reason till I finish it, because like I'm saying, I am just knitting this for to help Jean out. I'm sending her a picture each part I've done. I've sent her a picture to see what hers has to look like, and telling her where she has to go with different parts of the pattern. But after you get so far up the front, then you have to go to the instructions for the sweater. That was what was mixing me up, and I think it was mixing Jean up as well. You have to go to the instructions for the sweater, and then that tells you how to do this part here and that. So anyway, I've done that bit, and that's the other side. I've done the other side. Now the other side, when you're doing the band on the purl row, you're knitting the first 5 stitches and then purling the rest of the stitches across. And again, the pattern doesn't tell you that. You have to work that out for yourself. So I've gotten that far. This is how much knitting I'm doing on this today. I'm not doing any more till tomorrow, because it's 12 o'clock now. It's just after 12 actually. I've finished knitting the little bit, and I'm going to get my lunch anyway, and then I'm going to carry on with my orders, which I'm doing for the rest of the day. So I will update you when I get further around with this, and I'm updating Jane as well to keep her, at least let her see what it's supposed to look like when she gets the knitting done on the part, because she said she just had no idea how to work the pattern, it doesn't explain things very well. It's one of the worst written patterns I think I've ever seen. Took me quite a while to work it out, but it's okay now. And I'm having my cup of tea. I could write that pattern out myself in probably a lot easier to understand instructions and make a PDF, but this, I don't know where this pattern's, who's made the pattern or anything, but there is probably copyright on it, so I can't do that. I could be in trouble if I did that. But it is a lovely pattern, nice little hat there as well, and like I'm saying, I'm going to do it for there's a young girl on our bingo. We're going my bingo on Thursdays. She's pregnant, so I'm going to do it for her for just a little present for her for when a baby, I think a baby's due in October. But I was at my bingo not last night, Thursday night, because I didn't do a video yesterday. And I gave my friend the cardigan, and she paid me very well with it. I wasn't charging her anything for the cardigan because we had done a swap. She had bought a pair of shoes. We're actually the same size shoes, and she couldn't wear them. She had tried to wear them and they just hurt her feet. And she offered them to me. This was before I said anything about the cardigan. She offered them to me, and I know how much she had paid for them, and she couldn't take them back because she had worn them to try them. And I think she said she's got corns on her toes. That's how she couldn't wear them. And I said, well, you should do something about the corns on your toes. But anyway, she said if they fit you, you can have them. So I tried them, and they were a really nice pair of shoes, and I liked them. So she gave me, I said, it's a good swap. I says, I'm doing the cardigan for you in exchange for the shoes. There's no payment needed for them, like. So I got paid really well there, and she paid me a lot more at the bingo because she won 2 houses. I never won anything, but my friend won 1 house, £75, but she also shared it. Somebody else shouted at the same time, so she got half of that and then half that with me. And then she won another house for £60, so we got another £30 each there. So I was well and truly paid for that cardigan on Thursday, so I didn't see anything else to her about. But she knew as soon as seen the cardigan that I'd just been having her on about not having enough wool for it. She just said to me, she says, you're just too cheeky, you know. That was all she said. She was just quite happy because she got the cardigan. Had plenty of time for little Eleanor's birthday. So anyway, that was just a little bit extra today, tell you about my bingo and about the rants about that pattern. That lovely pattern. It is a lovely pattern, like. I'm definitely going to do more of those, maybe used to sell when I work out the pattern for myself, but I think I'm going to write it out again for myself in an easier manner to understand. I don't know who's wrote it out, whether it's been a pattern that someone maybe like me has wrote their own pattern out, but they didn't make a very good job of it, that's all I can see. I haven't come across, I've got to finish the rest of the cardigan, but if there's any other things that I should tell you about, I will. So anyway, thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll catch you all another time, so bye for now.